Okay, I want to talk about thoughts as being your seeds that you're planting in your head. And today, one of my seeds that I planted a long time ago is coming true, and I'm like beyond happy, and I'm nervous and I'm excited. I'm talking to one of my personal heroes, Rachel Balducci, and I have that interview in an hour, and I'm prepared, but I'm so nervous. But that seed was planted, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago or 7, when my second son was born, and I was like, oh my gosh, 2 boys, I need to know everything about raising boys. So I went on Amazon and I bought 10 books on how to raise boys. And I got the books, and one of the books was her books, and I read it, and it was such a light read, so fun, funny. It was nothing like the old stuffy men teaching you how to raise children. It was just like, I could relate to her so much that I Googled her, and I found her blog, and I read her blog every night because it was such a sanity saver for me. It was like, oh my gosh, someone understands what I'm going through. And she has like 4 or 5 boys, and I just love how much compassion she has for herself, and I love how she's working through the daily work and being like bogged down and like raising so many kids, and it just the way she was like showing up in life. I was loving all of it. And then she came out with another book and another book, and I read them, and I just remember back then when I remember thinking like, getting inspiration to set big goals, or like imagine like the most outrageous things for yourself. Or like, I know, they say like, who would you have dinner with? If you can have dinner with anyone, well, who would it be? Like anyone in history, any one of the big leaders, anyone super famous, anyone. And I was like, I don't know. But she was one of the people that I wanted to have lunch with. And I pictured me sitting at lunch with her and other people. And when I pictured that at the moment, back then it felt very like strange. I was like, I don't even know what we would talk about. It's weird. I don't know her. Like it felt weird, but it was like, oh, I kind of like, that would be maybe fun, right? And I imagined that. And oh my gosh, like things have happened in my life that I chose, all the steps that I've done, and me changing my podcast name to Stop Fighting with Your Son, and then someone offering to be on my podcast, someone else, gave me the idea, holy moly, the perfect person for me to have on my podcast would be this incredible woman that I can have on my podcast. And I invited her, and she said yes, and now I'm getting to meet one of my heroes, one of the women that I really admire, and we do so much better than I ever imagined than having just lunch with her. We get to create something together. We get to collaborate. We get to talk. We get to like do this incredible thing together that will help other people, which is so much more amazing than I've ever thought about. But it is exactly what I pictured, is her and I hanging out together. And all of that started with one thought. So I want to encourage you guys to just come up, plant some seeds today, anytime. Going to bed, you plant a seed, you plant a thought of the possibility of something being possible for you. Whatever it could be. And I've done that so many times, and I keep doing it, and I get excited because I know those thoughts will be my reality one day, will be my experience one day. And it keeps coming true more and more. And so I just had to share that with you guys because it is, and for you, you've already like harvested so many of the seeds of your work, just you imagining the life you have now, having the children, having the family, having the house. Those were all thoughts one day. And I love the example that Brooke Castillo uses is look around you, where you're sitting, where you are, and every single thing you see around us was once impossible for us to have. Like the iPhone that I'm recording my video with now was once impossible until someone had an idea that would be possible. And once they had the idea, it was still impossible until they actually created it. Until they tried and tried and tried and tried again and actually like created it. Like the table, like the chair, like the frame, the walls, like the way the walls are, the paint, everything I see around me is was all once impossible until someone has had that thought. And the thought is the first act of creation that you guys do. So I want you to really see how powerful those thoughts are. And so that's why I sometimes say to my clients, write down all the things you want as if they're true and like forget about them. Do it once a year, right? Because then the universe goes to work to get those things for you. Right? Even if you're resisting them, it still wants to help you. So help the universe help you get you those things. So just plant some of those seeds. Whatever you're like the most wildest thing that could never be possible, I want you to imagine it and say it to yourself as if it's true. And like play a little video of it happening in your head of how it will be true. That's the visualization part that does it, right? And of course, if you can do that often and a lot, that's just gonna make it happen so much sooner. But also, I like the idea of imagining it and like saying that statement and putting it out there into the universe and let the universe take care of it and don't have such a tight grasp on it. Like the how is none of your business. Because I would have never, ever in a million years would have guessed that I would become a life coach, that I would be making videos like this and be comfortable with that, that I would be having a podcast, that I would be helping people with their lives, and then I would have the courage to ask her to be on my podcast, to interview her. I would have never guessed that how, right? Never. Until you do it, you don't know the how. All right, so I'm just super excited, and it's 11:11. It's gonna be, okay. I'm gonna go and feel excitement and just try to like calm down and prepare. And I hope you guys are inspired as I am by just my own this thing. I'm like, holy crap, what else is possible? Like I'm talking to someone who I really admire, and what could be better, right? Okay, bye.